Good morning, Fresno Unified family. We just need to acknowledge that today is a hard day. To everyone that is grieving today due to the closure of schools till June, I'm sorry. Kids and faculty members, I'm sorry you didn't get to say goodbye, to give a last hug and a word of thanks and express your gratitude. Ideally, in the new digital format, there'll still be a way to connect, but it's not the same as being present with kids, and we just need to acknowledge that. For my seniors, we love you. We will do what we can to try and make your senior year as comforting as we possibly can, knowing that not being in place changes a lot of the things people come to expect for their senior year. I'm sorry. If there was a way to take away the pain associated with the COVID-19 health crisis, I would do that. But sometimes we're forced to make decisions that are not good. It's between bad and bad, and this is one of those times. And so I'm sorry if you're hurting out there, and I know many of you are. Just know that we love and support and sustain you. Today's book is kind of like that, like rising from difficulty. Today is Dan Santat's After the Fall. Many of you know Humpty Dumpty, and you know that story about it's really after the fall how Humpty Dumpty got back up again. Here's the title page. After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again. A story by Dan Santat. My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, high up on the wall. I know, it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. Then one day, I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. We all know about Humpty Dumpty, right? Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. Sometimes hard things happen. Here's the Kings County Hospital. It said, fortunately, all the King's men put me back together. There were some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. And that's where we are today. It's hard to heal hearts with bandages and glue. It says most of me was healed. After that day, I became afraid of heights. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. If you see the cereals on the top shelf, man, it's like free toy and rainbow bites. And what's on the bottom shelf? Grown-up food and leaves, twigs and berries and fiber flakes. His fear of height is keeping him some of his favorite things. He says, I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. So we should never be so scared that we lose sight of what's our favorite thing. I walk past that wall every day, and I would think about climbing that ladder again. I really missed the birds and being high above the city, but I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. So he's afraid to try again because he knows you can get hurt if you're not careful. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. Then one day, an idea flew by. He's looking at this airplane right here. Making planes was harder than I thought. So he's trying to make planes to connect with the birds. It was easy to get cuts and scratches. So even when you try new things, there are some bumps and bruises. As we move to this new digital model, there's going to be some bumps and some bruises and some cuts and some scratches. But day after day, I kept trying and trying. It doesn't look all that fun. It looks hard. Until I got it just right. Look at that plane that he made. It looks just like a bird. It's pretty amazing. He was able to work on something. He stuck to it, and he came up with a good plan. My plane was perfect, and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. If we can create a solution which is good enough, close enough, it's not the same as being together with our students every day, but hopefully we can come up with something equally as good. Unfortunately, accidents happen. They still happen, even with the new plan. They always do. Look what's happening with this plane. Where's it going? Right on top of that wall. Look, here's the plane stuck right here on Humpty Dumpty's wall. I almost walked away again, But then I thought about all the time I'd spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. I didn't look up. I didn't look down. I just kept climbing, one step at a time. And that's how you do it. One step at a time. One next good choice at a time. Until I was no longer afraid. Look at him on the top of that wall. Look, he overcame his fear. One step at a time. Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Look, he's starting to crack again. What's happening? He didn't fall. Why is he cracking? Hopefully you'll remember me as the egg who got back up. What's happening to him? Oh my gosh, what happened to Humpty Dumpty? We forgot he was an egg. What's inside of an egg? Maybe they'll stop thinking of me as the egg who fell and think of me as the person what? Who learned how to fly. Sometimes you got to get back up on that wall. We're in that case right now. We have the opportunity to fly. It doesn't feel like that right now. But we have to do what Humpty Dumpty did. Hand over hand, step over step. Keep moving forward. Keep pressing on. And keep functioning. These are hard times. It's not anything any of us have ever dealt with before. But you are enough. And we can do this together. And we will do this together. Because we're awesome. Thanks. Have a great day.